I'm here with Adam Legas, who along with his brother Tad are revitalizing struggling neighborhoods in Alabama. Adam, what made you choose Birmingham when so many of your clients and customers are out in the West?
That's a good question. We actually decided that after my brother and my other partner, Royce Williams, they've worked for years in this industry, and they worked for another company, and they went all over the country, and they saw a whole bunch of different communities and a bunch of cities that had been hit hard by the housing bubble. When it burst, a lot of houses went into foreclosure, and Birmingham was the perfect combination of houses that needed to be fixed up, plenty of inventory, and there were also a lot of people that had government vouchers that could be subsidies to help rent those houses.
Now, I've heard you say revitalizing a couple times. What does that mean when you say they're revitalizing areas?
Okay, well, take for example Birmingham. Birmingham and the Alabama area has been hit by tornadoes. There's a lot of displaced people who have been, put out of their houses, and there's a lot of people that don't have houses because of the housing bubble. People lost their homes, and so there's so many vacant houses all over the country that it's made it so that when we go into an area, we're able to take a neighborhood that used to be a decent neighborhood and completely revitalize it and turn it into a really nice place to live.
So what kind of houses are you guys looking to buy?
When we look at the houses, the biggest thing is the area. We look at the neighborhood. We try to find a place that when we go in there and fix it up, it's going to be a nice area, a place where families are going to want to live. But we also try to make sure that the basics of the house are intact, like the roof, the exterior, the foundation, the real core stuff that's really hard to go in and fix. We make sure that stuff's intact.
So you go in, you buy it, you fix it up and rehab it. So what happens after it's remodeled, after you've done all your work and put in all that effort?
Well, we actually, luckily, these houses have been vacant for so long that we have some help with the demolition part of it, because so many people come into these houses, tear out the plumbing, they tear out, a lot of the wiring because they sell the copper, and so we kick them all out of there. We get that all cleaned out, and then we completely gut the inside. We put in new cabinets, new floors, new paint, basically everything to make the house on the inside look as good as new, and then we take care of anything like broken windows and anything else that needs to be done, and the house is better than it was before.
Wow, so you actually take this house from the lowest of lows and build it up and make it just like a really good functioning home with everything's been fixed, and it's actually in really good shape.
By the time we get done with it, it's gone through a huge inspection. A government inspector actually goes through with a big long list and makes sure that every single thing is in perfect order before we can even begin to look for investors to either purchase it or have it become part of the fund that we put together.
So how do I become an investor? What do I need to do?
A lot of our investors just pay cash and they just buy the house free and clear. They own it outright. But a lot of people invest in our fund, or they use their money from the 401k or their self-directed IRA. And so there's a lot of ways that people can become a part of what we do, and they can invest in it. And so there's numerous ways, but the majority of them either just pay cash or they use some of their retirement money.
So what kind of return can I expect, say, from if I purchase one of your homes or invest in one of your homes through the fund?
Well, what we do is we just have a formula. We give the investor 20% gross annual rate of return based on the rent, because the rent is a guaranteed rent that comes from the federal government, and we just base it on 20% of the gross annual rate of return. And so that doesn't include, your taxes and insurance and your minor maintenance issues, but that also doesn't include the dramatic appreciation that we expect over the next few years. I mean, a lot of these houses sold for over 150 grand just 4 years ago.
Wow, that's crazy. That sounds too good to be true. So you're saying that we can basically get up to 20% return on an investment through one of your homes?
Yeah, well, you're for sure going to get a guaranteed gross rate of return of 20%, and then don't factor in the appreciation. And, a lot of people say it's too good to be true, but really this is exactly the same as if you were to go 5 miles from your house and buy an income property, whether you're renting it to students or you're renting it to your neighbors or you're renting it to some other people that can't afford to buy a house or don't have the credit to buy a house. It's exactly the same thing. The one difference is that this rent is guaranteed by the federal government.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, this sounds like an amazing investment, and it's a thanks for your time, and I appreciate you meeting with us.
It's good talking to you. Thanks.